Welcome back to the podcast, everybody. This is the Behind the Brand podcast, and I am the host, Curtis Campbell, and I am joined today by a very, very brand new business, very fresh, should we say, ties in with the theme. We have the coffee stop owner, Ashley. How you doing?
I'm all right, thank you, Curtis. How are you?
I'm all right. Thank you very much for agreeing to come on.
No problem.
I'm really excited to hear about your business.
I'm excited to tell you.
I'm glad. So glad you're here. So let's get the small chat out of the way. We've obviously been talking off camera and stuff like that, and I'm really intrigued to find out about obviously your business, dig deep into it, because it's something that I believe every person in Paisley has used at one point, but now it has a new owner and it has a fresh new look. So let's no dilly-dally anymore. Let's get right into it. So could you even introduce me who you are and what you do, please?
Of course. So my name's Ashley McIver. I am 36 years of age and I live with my husband, who I love dearly. He's like my best friend. He's my driving force behind all of this. My 2 kids and my dog, Jarvis.
Oh, love that. Marvel reference?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, so I spent 14 years in the police before I do what I do now. So this is quite exciting. This is something quite different, as you can imagine.
Polar opposite of the police force.
Absolutely. Although nothing will be stressful, I don't think.
So, your business, how did you come about it, and where are you based? What is it that you actually do?
So at the moment, we're getting ready to open the coffee stop on Paisley Gilmour Street on Monday next week. So the 9th, we officially open. And as I say, I spent 14 years in the police and decided to run a sort of side business called May We Have Cake. And it's called May We Have Cake because my grand's name is May, and she taught me to bake since I was, 4 years of age or something like that. And it just kind of spiraled from that, really. I think since being a kid, I've always wanted to have a coffee shop. It was my dream, but it's one of those things that lots of people have done over the years, especially over the pandemic and things like that. People have decided, I love a baking. You've the Great British Bake Off. That's got Britain right into their baking. So it's competitive. There's a lot of people doing what I do, but I think I bring a little bit more love and sort of passion into my baking. It's just something I always wanted to do, was have a coffee shop. So that's exactly what I'm going to do.
I love that. I love the fact that you've obviously, it's something nice, obviously, that you've tied in with the fact that your gran and stuff like that had done it, and that you've now continued this obviously on. Yep. You still, you must use some of our recipes, I'm guessing, within it. Granny's love there, which is absolutely amazing. So your business is obviously set right in Paisley Gilmour Street Station. Yep. And as I say, there is no doubt that you have not passed this. Platform 3 and 4, if I'm right. It's
platform 2 and 3.
2 and 3, sorry, my bad.
Bang in the middle. You've got to walk up the stairs and you literally look at my shop. It's great. You can't miss me. And you'll smell the pastry and, the coffee and everything from down the stairs.
As soon as you walk up the stairs, you'll be just floating towards it. Yeah, I can imagine. So I might need to take a trip. Maybe a trip up to Glasgow. I've not been on a train in ages, to be fair.
I know.
But I know it's probably one of the most used, bits of commute for Paisley, definitely. Getting into Glasgow and everybody that's working there. So, how did you find the process of starting up, obviously, your business and being within the train station? Because if I'm right, and my memory serves me right, this has been shut since pandemic, maybe even beforehand. So that must have been it must have been totally empty. You must have been like, what am I going to do here? What am I getting myself into? And obviously, you must have had a vision of what you wanted it to look like. So just even right from the start, what did you think when you first walked in?
God, it's a hidden gem, Paisley Gilmour Street Station, and I'm talking about the kiosk. I started looking for premises about a year and a half ago, and initially I'd come across one at Hindland, and I was looking at that before. That fell through for various reasons, and I was just looking. But the thing that attracted me to Paisley was it had already been an established business before.
Yes.
And it needed a bit of love and TLC to bring it back to life, that's for sure. But I got in touch with ScotRail and they were really helpful. Various stations had fallen through for different reasons, but Paisley was one that I'd always kept my eye on. A Steingart cost, it's not handy, albeit it's actually only a 25-minute drive, which isn't that's most people's kind of average commute. I think it is anyway.
I would say you're about right, to be fair. I would say most people, especially for us, living in Paisley, travelling into Glasgow and things like that, you're probably talking about 25 minutes, definitely.
Exactly, and it's straight down the motorway and straight off, so it's kind of ideal that way. I don't have to.
Is that on a good day? If there's no
on
traffic?
a good day, average speed cameras and everything.
Don't get me started. Don't get me started.
But yeah, I got to Paisley and went and had a look, and it was pretty dire. I'm not going to lie. It's been shut for four years anyway, and I believe that the previous owners were really busy there. They were well loved. They knew what their regular customers wanted, and sometimes had it ready for them coming up onto the platform. You know, these are all things that I want to strive to achieve as well. But
building up relationships with some customers, that's brilliant.
Absolutely. But they had a hot plate as well.
Yes.
So scraping the grease off of every surface took a long time, and it wasn't pleasant, I have to say. But what I loved about it was that they had solid wood worktop and sort of carcasses underneath that were brown. They were completely brown, and I thought that's not going to work. But what I love, the solid wood, and this is going to sound really, really quite, I'm trying to find the word, a bit emotional, but I'm not going to get emotional when I talk about it. My grandparents are my life. They're like my parents. They're wonderful people. And my grandfather, my grandmother taught me to bake. My grandfather's got a love of wood. So see, when I seen the wood worktops, I thought to strip that out would be horrific. It would be
doing
crime,
a disservice.
A total disservice, but they were solid and they looked amazing. So I decided to strip them back, see what they looked like first. We'll sand it down and see what the damage is, We sanded it down, we varnished it, and it looks absolutely, it's like a different shop. We painted all the carcasses white because you want people to look in. Although it's a grab and go, people are still going to spend a bit of time looking in there and looking to see what I've got and what's on offer, talking to the staff. Yep. That's what you want, but you want it to look good, and it looks absolutely amazing. So there's a bit of my papa in there as well, not just my gran. So that's why we decided to keep it original, but make it look fresh and just bring it back to life. And it does. It looks absolutely phenomenal now.
Sometimes that's the thing of you don't need to spend all the money and doing it all up and stuff like that. You take what you've got with it, and you're still leaving a bit of what the old place looked like as well, that customers and things would probably feel comfortable about. Obviously, making it more approachable, so you're the new owner and stuff like that. I can only imagine you must meet some amount of people every day, to be fair, and all different kind of people as well.
Totally.
Must get a good laugh sometimes.
You do. Well, I mean, God, the first week we were there doing work, we had a young boy who took an epileptic seizure on the platform. So, of course, the police officer in you for 14 years doesn't leave. You run out and you go and make sure he's all right. You give him medical assistance. You phone an ambulance. You do what you need to do.
Thank God somebody like you was there.
I know. So you get out and helping that. And then this poor girl, she came up onto the platform one day and she was breaking her heart crying, walking up the stairs. And the mother in me, you think, oh gosh, I need to go and make sure this girl's right. She's sitting at a train station platform, you never know. And it turned out
too safe these days.
It turned out she failed her driving test. She just failed her driving test, and I think the wait time now is like 6 months. And I just sat with her and spoke to her, and she's like, thanks so much for sitting talking to me and just taking the time. And that never goes away. I'm a people person. I love people, and I'd like to think if that was my daughter, someone would have made sure she was all right. So for all sorts of drama, and we've had paint up on the worktop and paint stripper and tools lying all over the worktop, and people are still asking if you're open yet.
That's amazing. That is amazing.
Yep.
It just shows you it's been missed.
It totally has. We've had loads of people up asking, taking photographs of the poster outside it now, and loads of people asking. And I think the biggest thing that people have said, it's nice to see something opening and not closing in Paisley, which is the world we're in just now everywhere.
We've been chatting about this on a couple of other podcasts, and how the high street, obviously it's pretty much like nothing now. Yeah, it's a total shadow of its previous self.
It's sad, really sad, but people are so excited to see us there, and it's encouraging. It makes the 6 months of stress beforehand totally worth what you're doing when you get that sort of reaction. So it's all good there.
That kind of gets me a wee bit buzzing seeing that. I love seeing something else like thrive as well, but I think because you've kind of got like, as much as it's not like I go there every day and stuff like that, you've all got a personal touch, like a personal connection with that place, because let's be honest, we've all used it at one point in our lives, especially going into Glasgow. Yep. You've probably passed that. I mean, I've been down to Manchester and worked. I remember stopping there and getting rolls and stuff like that on my way to get the train, because I was like, that is the perfect place to go. Yep. I just love it. Yeah. I feel like I think as well, because you've got such a nice energy and a nice like kind of warm vibe as well, which I think will bring people in. And the fact that you've taken yourself a way to, like, you know what I mean, look after these certain people as well. I think that the reputation that will come with that as well, knowing that you do care about the people. You're not just they're just to sell, like, you know what I mean. It's not just a business at the end of the day where you're just selling, make money. Like, you're actually being a big part of the community, which I think is really nice.
I don't want it to be transactional. It's not for me. Everyone's got to make money. You've got to pay your mortgage and bills like everyone else does. But I genuinely have a passion for it. I love a good cup of coffee and a really good bit of cake. And when I think about coffee, I think of heat and warmth, but time. Time. Coffee for me is time with your friends, time for yourself, time for a catch up with your partner, whatever it is. I think time, and obviously we kept it in theme with a time train station sort of thing, and that's why the taglines, it's your time, our time is underneath my logo,
like
because
nice.
That's what I think about when I think of a cup of coffee. But we wanted to be part of the railway community. We wanted to engage with people. It's going to be fast paced. It's going to be different than, I say, a coffee shop in the high street, for example, but you're still going to have your regulars. You're still going to have people standing there. You're still going to have people coming up the stairs in tears and snotters because their life's in whatever's happening in their life, and that's what I wanted. I wanted to keep that.
That's amazing. And obviously we were chatting about it off camera and things like that. So, and you've actually did the numbers. You've worked out the numbers. So we were talking about the footfall. Yep. Obviously, it is probably one of, if not the busiest train station in Paisley. Yeah. Probably Renfrewshire as a whole, I would imagine. You said it was the fourth busiest in Scotland?
Fourth busiest in Scotland. Wow. With the average footfall sitting about 2.1 million a year. I think it's probably more than that now that post-pandemic figures. But yeah, average about 2.1 million passengers a year come through. And I had to know these things because your business plan and everything that you do, trying to work out your sales projections, which is a minefield in the start-up process. Yep, I remember pulling my hair out. Totally, and I'm not good with numbers. Numbers is not my strong point, shall we say. So I had to know all these things to try and gauge, is this going to actually be worth the blood, sweat and tears that's gone into it? I think it will. I think it's going to be absolutely booming, and it's nice to hear that there's people. I mean, you've not even opened the doors and people are already chopping at the bit. I know. When you opened. It just shows you it was missed. Definitely missed within the train station. And I think now that we're coming out of the pandemic and things like that, you know what I mean, we're hopefully, I know there's a bunch of cases happening at the minute, but I hope we're well out of what we had before. Yeah. No more lockdowns, no more nothing. Please no. Oh no. Knock on wood, thank you. Never again. No. Just hopefully never again. But I just feel like it's such a big part of the community as well. As you say, there's not much. Yeah, there's pubs and things like that around, and there is cafes and things outside, but it's missed. It's very much missed, especially for somebody that is in a rush, gets to the train station, is like, I need something. Yeah. You're the person to go to. I know, and see the amount of people that come up the stairs and you see them, the train's just pulled in and you hear those beepers going for the door shutting, and you see the people running up the stairs and they miss your train, the expletives that come out after that, and you think, well, you've got another 15 minutes to your next train's due, have a coffee. I love that. I love it. It's going to make such a difference, I think, to people's lives. Yeah. And hopefully that they'll be more prepared to get in there early, get their coffee, not miss their train and get work. Exactly. I think the biggest thing, and I think obviously the listeners and viewers would like to know, is the kind of products that you're going to be stocking. Okay. So is it rolls? Is it cakes? Coffees, teas, juice? What are you bringing to the table? All the above apart from rolls. So amazing coffee, absolutely amazing coffee. We're using Puro fair trade coffee. Coffee's fantastic. Teas, hot chocolates, your sort of usual suspects there. And pastries from Delice de France. I think they supply quite a lot of sort of cafes, restaurants with their pastries, and they're outstanding. They're absolutely outstanding. But what I loved about them is that I can get a vegan option for the croissants, which for me, cake, pastries, whatever your choices, sort of intolerances are, allergies, cake should be for everyone. It should be for everyone to enjoy a bit of cake or a pastry or something like that. So I've got vegan options for that. And the cakes are every single cake is homemade by me. Because I love to do it, but I cater for gluten-free, vegan. It's nothing better than a place that does homemade sort of stuff as well, rather than just straight out the packet as well. Which you can tell. You know what I mean? You can tell the difference, and you were saying that as well. Yeah. How now that you taste yours and you're just like maybe the quality and the difference is top drawer. It's a love, it's a passion. I'm telling you, that's exactly what it is. But that's it. You're putting in the care and the time into that as well, which I think is really nice, and I think people will probably appreciate a bit more rather than not naming any businesses or something, because obviously don't want to disregard anybody at all, because I hope that you maybe want to come on the podcast soon. But obviously it's nice to see that you're doing something a wee bit personal. Yeah, I think with it. So you've kind of mentioned there about how you kind of source your products and things like that.
and you've talked about obviously the fact that they are homemade and things like that. Why did you decide this spot? I know you kind of briefly touched on it, but there must have been a bigger reason as to why this spot of Paisley. You know what I mean? As you say, you come from Gartcosh.
Yeah, I stay in Gartcosh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then to travel in to Paisley, it's just obviously with the train station. Like, was it one of these ones where you had so many options, and then this something like called out to you regarding this one?
I had a few options. I think I said that before. There was a few options, but I kept going back to Paisley. I kept looking at the photographs and seeing the dark, dingy colours that it was before, and just thinking that could be so much better. And every time I went to see it, any time I talked about it, it was Paisley, Paisley, Paisley. I don't know. There's just a spark about it. It's actually built into the original train station. I mean, that train station is old.
Oh, it's ancient.
You know, it's
Major
really
ancient.
old. And there was just something about it. I can't explain it. I don't know. There's just a buzz about it. And the amount of people that have come up and spoke to me just kind of confirms that I think it's the right place to go to. But the other thing that I forgot to add, sort of an answer to your previous question, was the local dairy farm as well that I'm using. I'm using Abercorn Dairies as well.
Oh, brilliant.
They're 5 minutes round the corner from the station. So it's ideal for deliveries and stuff like that, which is great. But no, Paisley was... I don't know. There's just a spark about it. I just wanted to bring it back to life, and that's what we've done.
No, honestly, I love that. I love the fact that, especially where I live, I'd love to see it thrive, and I'd love to see anything like this come along that does bring some sort of value to the community. And I love the fact that you do work with local businesses as well. So probably just to kind of touch on that, like somebody listening to this, hopefully a local business that's maybe looking to supply sort of things like that, would you be up for like collaborating and working with them on it?
Totally. Come and see me. I want to keep it in the community as best I can. I think it's always good to be part of the community. That's what I'm saying about it not being transactional. It's actually being there, being part of the community, not just the railway community, but Paisley's community. But if anything's got anything they want to come and speak to me about, absolutely come and see me. I'd be honestly touched if someone approached me and said, can we think about this or think about that? I would love that.
I think it's such
really
a great opportunity because it is so new.
Yeah.
So obviously, unfortunately, this podcast won't be released for your release, which is happening on the
9th of October.
9th of October. When is that again, actually?
Next Monday.
Next Monday. Is it, you sure it's not the following Monday? So this Monday's coming up as the 3rd, right? So it'll be the next Monday.
Yeah.
Right, sorry, that's my bad. As you can tell, look, I don't have the looks and I don't have the brains, okay? I just have this. This is all I have. Well, maybe we can get it out. Maybe I can pull a couple of strings and that, see what I can do for you. Because I would love everybody to go and especially keep an eye out, especially if you are going to the train station. Take the time, go and see something new. Mm-hmm. And obviously, if you are in the area and you have tried any of the coffee stops items, then please obviously let everybody know how good it is. Rant and rave about it. I mean, social media at the minute is absolutely booming. Yep. And obviously these things help massively. So if you do happen to pick something up, it's not hard. Leave a review.
Yep.
Post a picture of it. Let people know that this is here in Paisley.
Yeah, I want to know what people think, and if there's anything that people think they would like to see different or more of or less of, or they've got another idea, that's what I want. There's no point in me being there and not providing what the public and the sort of, the people using the trains and stuff like that, whatever they want. I want to know what they want as well. It's not just about me and what I think. Yeah. So if there's something that people particularly want to have or whatever, just I want to know. I want to know what people think. Especially when it comes down to like allergies and things like that as well, because obviously you've done obviously your homework and everything on that, which is obviously a given. But like that, where people do have certain things, being vegan and stuff like that, is massive at the minute. So I'm guessing people come to you with like, listen, I've tried something like this. Do you think you could make it? Happy to take suggestions. Absolutely. And I think because my husband and my wee girl are both gluten intolerant, that's when I really started to adapt my baking, because I wanted gluten-free, shop-bought gluten-free stuff. It's really difficult to get something nice, and I decided no, I'm going to make this. I've heard that better. It's quite the taste dry and stuff like that. Aye, yeah, really, really dry. And I think people think gluten-free is a taste, it's a texture, because you've not got the binding agent to make it. It's the gluten that does that, basically. But there's way more to a gluten intolerance or an allergy than people realise. Celiac disease, for example, is horrific. If you've got celiac disease, even the slightest crumb of wheat or gluten could make somebody really unwell. Wow. So you've got to do your homework on these things. I've managed to get my course under my belt as well for allergy. So I'm making food for people with allergies and things like that. You've got to be clued up. Cross-contamination, everything else, you've got to know what you're doing. Honestly, it's massive. Yep. We were chatting about it with
I don't know if it'll be in an upcoming podcast with Sweet Punk's owner Grant, and he's the same, obviously deals with sweets, picking mixes and things like that. So the amount of, and he went right in the detail of everything that he did, and I was blown away by the amount of stuff that you have to know.
Yeah.
I mean, I work in a centre at the minute, and we have our own in-house chef and stuff like that. And some of the stuff I hear him saying, it's one of those, it goes over the head, because I'm like, I have no interest in it as such. But the amount of stuff, paperwork that I've seen, I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, you've
Like,
got to know what you're doing.
Couldn't do it myself.
Yeah, I mean, even with vegans, some people are vegan because they've got a dairy intolerance. I mean, my wee boy was dairy free for a year. So again, I had to really sort of change and adapt how I made his cakes, or, you know, whatever, without eggs or anything like that. It's a totally different way of baking, but it's not any more hassle than making a regular sponge or biscuit or whatever it is.
It's amazing. It's amazing that you're taking the care and the time, I think, as well, and that you are willing to do things with the public. I think that's how you build up a good relationship with people as well. Not that you have to have their stuff prepared for them coming in the morning, like I'm like, get there early and order, all right? But
We'll try.
I mean, just make sure you're there early. But just last wee bit of the podcast, obviously you've been absolutely brilliant, and I totally appreciate you coming on and chatting about your business and things. Is how do we find you on social media? As we said, we just talked about it there, but do you have a social media? Like, are you on any platforms? What do you use?
So at the moment, just Facebook and Instagram. I am not going to tell any lies. I am a technophobe. I need to get better with social media and how to sort of maximise the my use
stuff,
of it. Absolutely. So I'm working on it. It's something I am working on. I've had to get my friends in to sort of keep me right with it. You think I'd be better with this sort of generation. I think my kids are better at it than I am, to be honest with you. I'm pretty rubbish. So I'm on Instagram and Facebook. So it's just the Coffee Stop Paisley for both, and you'll find everything that's upcoming and everything that's happening on there.
Amazing. And do you have anything like in the pipeline for the future that you could maybe discuss with us, if you've got anything? Don't have to, obviously. It's totally fine if you want to keep it a secret.
Not at all. I'm quite wear my heart on my sleeve. I would love another one. So I am already starting to look at where could I go next? Where would be a good fit for me and my business? So yeah, stay tuned. I think there'll be another one hopefully in the next sort of year or two, I would think.
I'd love it, because I do think it will grow arms and legs, this thing as well. And I love the name as well, the Coffee Stop. I love that. Lovely name. But listen, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
No, listen, honestly, I really appreciate you coming in as well, and taking the time to actually discuss. And I know this whole thing is
new.
Yes, it's so, for some people it's so off-putting getting cameras and mics shoved in their face, but I really do appreciate you taking the time to actually come and speak with me.
Cheers.
So last one, just thanks very much for watching, folks. If you are watching this on YouTube, then please feel free to subscribe. If you're listening to any of our streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple, then you can hit the follow button as well. And you can also leave a review. We're looking for 5 stars. I mean, come on, the business deserves it. So, yeah, please feel free. Spotify, YouTube, Apple, get us on there. And we'll have plenty more podcasts to come from all of our businesses here in Renfrewshire. But thank you very much, Ashley.
Thank you.
And we'll see you in the next one.
Brilliant. Cheers.